And Village Board, you are live.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today is March 15th, 2024. It's 11 a.m. and we are at East Hampton Village Board meeting. So if we could stand for a pledge and then we'll get right into the meeting. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, another busy day, so welcome everybody. I just have a few announcements. Obviously, happy St. Patrick's Day coming up on Sunday. Happy birthday to Sandra, Carrie, Dominique, and Marissa over at Village Hall. Thank you all. I know it's a lot of birthdays. It's all secrets. The good news we had, if people weren't following this, we had the REMSCO hearing a couple of weeks ago where the village was expanding its certificate of need into the town to cover the areas that we have been covering since the 1970s. But this was more of a maintenance issue that we found out with the new ambulance lawyer that we have, that technically we're supposed to have this certificate of need to operate outside our municipality. So even though we have a contract from the town and we have since the 70s. So we applied, we had a hearing a couple weeks ago and it was officially approved on the 12th. So thank you for everybody who was involved in that. I know Jerry Terza was a big part of that, and Marcos, of course. So thank you. And our ambulance chiefs. All right. Marcos, you want to talk about the new lobby we have set up at Village headquarters?
Okay, let me see. They wanted me
See if we can bring that up. Over the years, we've always had complaints when you first walk into the Village police station, the emergency services building. The desk is really high, so you're looking up like at a person
like it's us.
probably 10 feet high. So this new addition will be normal. So you'll walk in, you'll be face to face with somebody in that little room there. So if you want to just talk a little more about it.
It was just, well, I think it was your idea, right? Back.
Well, I don't know whose idea. It was definitely my idea this time, but this has been talked about for many, many years. And I don't remember who actually came up with the idea many years ago, but so it's a reinstituted idea that I had heard about years ago and we had talked about it and it never got done. So now it's done.
Ray Harden should be finished with that, I believe, on Wednesday, if I'm correct. And I think the wallpaper will be the last. But it's just another effort for better customer service at One Cedar. That's just another initiative.
Exactly. Very nice. So you want to go right into the roof repair?
Sure. Actually, I apologize, Dave. You're better suited to kind of discuss the trusses and all the work being done there.
Maybe start from the beginning on why we're doing this work.
Want me to talk that much? Good morning, everybody. David Collins for the Village of East Hampton. As you know, about a year ago, we discovered that we had a failure in the roof truss system at 1 Cedar Street in the original portion of the building, in the original firehouse. It was a substantial fracture of the wooden roof truss system. We immediately closed the space to the public and the membership, and for safety reasons, and then contacted a number of engineers to give us an evaluation on what we needed to do with the building. We subsequently developed a plan and hired a contractor. That contractor is just finishing up today on the overall part of the project. They're actually resurfacing the floors, which you can see from some of the photos there. We had to put bracing and up on the floor, bracing between the floors and the roof truss to stabilize the area and the floors hadn't been done in about 15 years. So as a part of this project, we also finished the floors due to the construction and age of the floors. So that's being finished today. And we have a little bit of sheetrock work to do that wasn't included in the contract, so we're going to be doing that in-house, and hopefully we'll have that space opened up maybe for the May board meeting.
I think we're not going to chance it, and we're going
Okay.
to return on July organizational meeting.
Okay,
Is what
very good.
we talked about.
All right. And the contractor we hired, Carter Malance, on time, on target as far as money and the time frame that we allotted for the job. And job well done to Don O'Hanlon and his crew. And any questions? Okay,
Thank you.
good. Thanks.
Next up is Deputy Mayor about the Youth Council.
Oh, okay. So we are going to bring back some of the activities of the Mayor's Youth Council. I've contacted all 3 East Hampton schools, and they're very excited about it. We also have interest from the Girl Scouts. We've got interest from a couple other different groups. I've targeted a couple dates on the weekends to do village cleanups, beach cleanups, and maybe park cleanups too. So there's a decent amount of interest, and those dates will be announced as soon as I pick them out.
Great job. Next up is our trustee, Carrie Doyle. Our signature big event is coming up, so she would like to fill everybody in about that.
Yep, the Hamptons Who Done It. Once again, I'm talking about, it's April 11th to 14th. Our panels, escape rooms, CSI challenges. I want to highlight, we have 2 participants here. We have Hugh King, who's going to be doing on Friday at 5 and Saturday at 5, a graveyard tour. He'll tell us more about that. But that is, tickets are selling out. It's free, but we just are trying to keep track of numbers. So sign up on our website. And then the mayor is kicking off the true crime part of the festival, and he will be doing a panel on the cases that haunt us from, you want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've done a lot of research on cases from West Hampton to Montauk Point, true crime that have happened in the past. As early as 1949, there's a very interesting case. So I'll be presenting at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning at the library, so I invite everybody to come, so I'm not there by myself. So you can hear, the only one that can't come is Hugh, because he might know some of the truth to these stories, and I don't want to be corrected. So, no, but it's going to be a great festival. It was so much fun last year. And we just had a meeting a little while ago, and I was just telling stories about how much fun it was after the panels. The panels were great, very informative, interesting, but then to go to dinner and meet people that are here visiting was really a lot of fun. Met people from Australia, we met people from England, other states, obviously. So it was a great event, and I have to give all the credit to Carrie and her board. They work on this tirelessly year-round now, it's become. And it's a lot of work. So good job, and I look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you all come out. The prices are very, very reasonable. The tickets are no more than a movie theater ticket would cost you, maybe even cheaper.
Yep, a lot of free events too.
A lot of free events. So really hope the local people will come out and really enjoy this. So there's a whole education aspect to it this year that they put together, where they're going to have the high school doing a forensic class. It's going to be great. So really excited. All right, next up is roll call.
Mayor Jerry Larson,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Chris Minardi,
Here.
Trustee Sandra Melendez,
Here.
Trustee Carrie Doyle,
Here.
Trustee Sarah Amadon,
Here.
Administrator Marcos Balladrone,
Here.
Village Attorney Lisa Perillo.
Here.
Great. So now we're going to do presentations, and our first presentation is our very own Hugh King.
In 1849, at the conclusion of the celebration of East Hampton history, it was the 200th anniversary of East Hampton's history in 1649. They were off by a year. It should have been in 1849, at the conclusion of a big celebration about East Hampton's history, they had a banquet at the Thomas T. Parsons Hotel on Main Street. There were 15 toasts, and odes were sung, but were written by Cornelia Huntington. Lots of alcohol were consumed. They were probably all drunk by the end of the evening. In 1860, Thomas T. Parsons was the postmaster, and he was elected supervisor. He advertised his inn as Parsons Hotel and Stagehouse, genteel visitors. About 1860, he moved to Orient Point. Why did he move? Well, this is why. On January 6, 1860, Dr. Huntington, the doctor in East Hampton, was called in the middle of the night to dress the wounds of Thomas T. Parsons at the Parsons Hotel. These wounds were apparently put by Hiram P. Hedges. This was noted in Dr. Huntington's day book and the diary of his wife. It was speculated that the charges were dropped and the affair was hushed up. There were no newspaper reports. Hiram P. Hedges then moved himself to California. So we know who done it, but we don't know why done it and what happened. In 1886, William White became manager of the hotel and renamed it Sea Spray, after Cornelia Huntington's novel, Sea Spray. In 1902, the Sea Spray was sold to E. Turnbull, who moved the building to the location at its beach. So the Sea Spray whodunits has history, and that's appropriate that you're doing something there. And then as far as the cemetery tour is, I just want to assure the board that it will not be a bachelorette cemetery tour.
Hey, Hugh, a quick question. Where was the hotel on Main Street? Do you know? Can't find it?
Maybe about where Kelly's liquor store used to be.
On Main, yeah.
Yeah, in that area, or maybe where Ralph Lauren's place is there, but I don't know
Sure.
exactly where it was. Okay.
Thanks, Hugh.
Thank you.
Michael Derrick, could you step up, please? So we asked Michael to take a look at Herrick Park on the Newtown Lane side. And he came up with a great presentation he showed us the other day, so we wanted to share it. And it's just, I think it's going to look beautiful. You want to just tell us about it?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Michael Derrick, landscape architect. I met with Marcos and the mayor, and they said that they're looking to do just the entrance to Herrick Park right off of Newtown Lane. So, and the basketball courts were recently installed, and so this is kind of what I came up with. And on the which would guess be the west side. What was the oval?
The south side, yeah.
The south side.
Right.
South side of the park, I created a big oval where you could have kind of event spaces, like a big Christmas tree, that kind of thing, and and kind of leads out into the rest of the park. In the beginning part, right off of Newtown Lane, we proposed a few stone walls and kind of tighten the area up a little bit. It's still much bigger than it is now, but people could gather, in that space prior to going into the park. And then I have a connection between the oval and the entrance, which is an alley of trees, which would be more like London plane trees, and there's benches along there. So that path currently drawn is probably around 12 to 15 feet wide. So it's fairly substantial, and we have some various plantings and so forth. We put, the kids' play area over onto the right side when you enter the park from Newtown Lane. And we kind of disguised it with some plantings, and it's just a proposed area at this point. But, it really is pretty simple, but I think it works very well. It directs people into the park. It creates, and I think the biggest thing when we first originally met, that there's no real sense of entrance to the park. Right now it doesn't really have one. So it's just, an asphalt pathway. This would give it some prominence and really kind of create what I think the town, the park needs, right? Because on the other end, it's in a parking lot.
Right.
So, the improvements to date are great, but I think this would really give the park an entrance. And that's kind of what we did. And that the material that we wanted to use, and this was at our meeting that we had 2 days ago, was to possibly, I'm proposing bricks all around the oval and bricks up the alley and bricks at the entrance. And those bricks could be kind of bought by people and donated over time. And we could create, raising money to build the park. It really is. It's initial design. I had a couple images there that, on the bottom of the left hand of the page that show the alley. And then some of the walls that we were suggesting could be these like serpentine kind of concrete walls where people could sit and gather. And that's my initial thing. It really is not.
It looks great, and I can't thank you enough. I mean, he did this out of the goodness of your heart, so that was very nice of you to do.
So now, I don't know, anybody have any questions? I'm happy to answer them.
Anybody? Any questions?
I mean, this is like a rough draft, right? So you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a concept.
Like,
My
yeah.
initial start at it, and then it really is open for, questions and comments, and, but I feel like it would work pretty well. I mean, the basketball courts are pretty big, pretty looming right there, and, I wish they were somewhere else, but they're not, and as far as that, halfway up that alley, can you put that back on again? Just one thing I did forget to mention is halfway through, we have a circle that you could, it's kind of an intersection where you can make a left to the basketball courts and a right to the play area. So that's kind of, it's really having people circulate around the site. There's some other paths. Thank you. There's some other paths as well at the bottom towards Newtown Lane where you can have a shortcut to go to the basketball courts, and people that might be going to the playground, there's another pathway over that way. And it helps to kind of disperse people and kind of give them a way to get around without having to always go down the main thing. And it helps like limit the amount of people in one area. That's really it.
That's really good. Thank you. The probably next step would be set up a committee and start figuring out, where we go from here. So that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I like it. It'll be done by the summer?
What'd you say?
It'll be done by the summer.
All it takes is money. Correct. Next up is Jerry Terza. He's going to tell us about the donation we're making to Missouri.
Mr. Mayor, members of the board, following up with the great professor's history lesson, back in September, the Board of Trustees approved the surplus and sale of several pieces of fire equipment that had been replaced. It's important to keep in mind that by doing that replacement program that we did, we saved our taxpayers over $2 million, not just village taxpayers, but also the residents in Northwest and the Water Protection District as well. So immediately, two of the main pieces of equipment, our tower ladder and our hose pumper, went to broker. They'd been assessed for value. We were very fortunate with our tower ladder. We received top dollar for that right away. And we transferred that to a department down in Virginia that desperately needed it. But again, we received a very good deal with that. Our hose pumper, on the other hand, we haven't really been very lucky with. We lowered the value several times, dealt with a number of departments that were interested in it. Nothing panned out. It went on to our online auction platform that we've utilized for many years, and we haven't received any type of discernible offer on it. We sit and look at, let's say, putting it back into service. We're looking at spending a couple $100,000, quite frankly, and it would take several months. The upkeep on it, maintenance-wise, insurance costs are going up. And on top of all that, we have nowhere to house the vehicle. It's been unsheltered outside since the end of June. When we were originally talking about disposing of the vehicles, Superintendent Collins had brought up a good point. Why can't we just find some place that needs it and work something out with them? We've got the legal obligation to ensure that we try to reclaim as much of the taxpayers' investment as possible. So just giving it away that's not really an option. So we've been pursuing all these different things. And about 2 weeks ago, Department of Western Nassau County wrecked one of their trucks going to a call. So last week, beginning of last week, I was like, well, maybe we can reach out to them. They're on the islands. Maybe we could turn around and do something of a quick sale. They had already made other arrangements, but it got the wheels spinning. Our fleet manager, Dave Jaycox, he was on board with, we were all kind of thinking the same thing, Superintendent Collins, we're all kind of thinking the same thing on the same day. Reached out to the village administrator, Mr. Balladron. On March 5th, the Eminence Area Volunteer Fire Department in Missouri, they're out in the Ozarks, they suffered a catastrophic loss. Their firehouse burned down, their only fire station. They lost several of their trucks, 3 pumpers, 2 brush trucks, and an old makeshift tanker. It's a small city of about 500. They rely on tourism as their only tax base. And it's not the tourism that we have here. It's much, much different. Speaking with the fire chief, they have 20 members. Their annual budget is $25,000. The city owned the building. They own all the equipment and everything thereafter. I reached out to the Missouri State Fire Marshal and had a nice conversation with him. He was a lifelong resident of that town. He put me in touch with the fire chief, Mr. Jim Bay. We've been speaking several times since then. That we may have something that we could help them out with as an intergovernmental transfer. And they lost everything. But interestingly enough, that particular piece of equipment there had been an FDNY engine that Eminence acquired after 9/11. That truck was in service down at the site on the day of the attacks. And it was a source of great inspiration and pride for this department to have that truck. That's a major loss for them. We look at firehouses, it's more than just a building with some trucks in it. It is a cultural center. It is a community focal point. It's a second home to many of us, unfortunately. But it's a source of great pride. Many families, many generations. We look back through time, even our own community, the firehouse is always one of the longstanding civic organizations that's recognizable in any community. These folks, their obligation to their community doesn't stop because the building burned down. It's not something you turn a light switch off, it's something internally. Like I said, my conversation with the fire chief, as a fellow brother fire chief, it's been very heartfelt, very emotional conversations with him. And they would be forever in our debt. These folks, if they were to receive something from us, they would certainly be paying it back to their community. So, does any members of the board have any questions for me?
I think it's great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
We should do this.
Good job, everybody.
Great job. Thank you.
Good job. Who's driving it down, Jerry?
The chief said they have some members that would come up here to New York.
Nice. All right, where are we? Chief Erickson. So, last year, let me just say a couple things. Last year, we implemented some speed humps on highway behind the pond as a trial basis to see if it helped slow traffic down, and the neighbors have received it very well and they're very happy. The problem is that it's now opened up. Everyone wants speed humps on every road in the village. So we do have to tackle this, and we do have to face reality that we have to do something about calming the traffic in our residential neighborhoods. We have to do something about it. Sagaponack has really taken the bull by the horns, and they have these speed humps on every street that is used as a bypass. So I don't know if we have to do every street in the village. But I asked the chief to take a look at some of the main problems that we're having in the village on roads that are being used as bypasses. So, and a couple of other places that neighbors have been calling and complaining about. So the problem is, you know, we'd love to be able to have a police officer enforcing on every street, but the reality is that's impossible for any municipality. So we have to come up with other measures, and I think we really need to tackle this, and this is going to be the start.
Okay,
Thanks,
thank
Chief.
you, Mayor, the board. We have started a conversation, the mayor, Marcos, and I, ever since this whole, issue of LaForest, and trying to come up with different alternatives to deal with numerous problems. We all know it's a problem in the summer. We all have a large influx. And Marcos, if you go to just the first slide. So I came up with Further Lane and Dunmere, which seems to be a bypass. I think we all can agree. Traffic on Main Street backs up. A lot of people use Dunmere to travel east and to travel west. We've received numerous complaints about speeding. I put people up there to write tickets. They do write tickets, but as the mayor said, you write it, there's another one, and it's an ongoing battle. So I've come up with some ideas. And we have these around. The first is these speed signs. We have a couple, if you notice, in the village, one over by Judson's Lane on the highway, and we have one on Main Street already now in front of the Presbyterian Church. And this would be looking, as you see here, it states the speed. It gives you with a radar gun your speed, and it has an effect of slowing people down. And these would be, I'm looking to put two of these, one on Further and one on Dunmere, strategically placed. With the help of Superintendent Collins, we could figure out where to do that. And hopefully when it catches their eyes, there's also other signs once it gives you, and some of you probably seen this, after the sign, you could put slow down, or I've seen some in the community that say around the holidays, you've been naughty. So there's a myriad of different slogans we can put on here, especially when you go through, Thank you. You've been naughty. So we can change it. It also collects data, so we can do data to see what the speeds are there and how is it being effective. So this is what I am going to propose as a start for that, a permanent, instead of moving trailers around. This would be something, it's a solar powered. So all we need is a post put in, and then we can add this infrastructure to that road and see how it goes. The cost on these isn't tremendous. This is between a $4,000 and a $4,500 option per unit. Could we just go to the next slide? Complaints on Cove Hollow and Jericho. Right now, currently, there is a two-way, it's only a two-way stop. We've received complaints that people come from Montauk Highway, they go down, Cove Hollow towards Georgica Road, and they're speeding there. So we had talked about adding a four-way stop there on Cove Hollow to slow people up in the middle. Hopefully that will give the residents on Cove Hollow Road some sort of relief. Marcos, you have the next one. And then going back to the Dunmere and Further roadway, at this intersection, there's I'm requesting, or we're talking about a conversation of making that, instead of just a one-way stop, making that a three-way stop right now. So if you're on Further Lane, just past Old Beach Lane, you come to a stop sign. And then when you're coming down Dunmere, just past Highway Behind. So that would slow something down in the middle. Putting those speed signs somewhere strategically placed on Further and on Dunmere, maybe around the golf course, the second hole on the Maidstone Club. And give those people, because we do have a lot of people that cross there. There is the golf course, and that would put a stop in the middle of that road. And hopefully, obviously, one, slow them down, maybe deter them. Maybe it'll get into that Waze app that, the speed zone. When you drive around, we all know it says speed zone, or so maybe that'll pop up and slow people down once these ideas are implemented. Marcos, could you move forward? Okay, and we've got complaints on Buell Lane and Church Street. And I know we have petitioned, now this is a state highway, so we can't do that without the approval of the state. But we have requested, Village Hall has requested with the state to make that a three-way stop as well. So, and that is a difficult intersection, even just coming out, because that is, you see that large tree on your left, it definitely impedes your visibility trying to make a left or a right out of the intersection. But it would facilitate an ease getting out and slow traffic down with a stop sign. Whether the state approves that, that's.
And you have a lot going on there. You have the church.
You got the church,
You've got a mailbox where people stop all the time and mail things. And then you have the school right down the street where kids are crossing this intersection as well. So
it's a busy intersection. And we do put a significant amount of resources to the church on holidays and every Sunday to cross our parishioners that are there. Next slide, Marcos.
Yeah.
All right, Fresno. We have been getting complaints about parking on Fresno, and that came about because of the change of the parking on Railroad Avenue. The people in the Gingerbread Lane where the frame shop is and Reed and Han they want to alleviate parking in their lot for their customers, so they've been parking on Fresno. Fresno people have been complaining. So I'm recommending to the board that we come up with a happy medium, that we put 1 hour parking on Fresno Place, 9 to 5, so it doesn't affect the restaurant. But during the business hours, it would move those people. So where do we put them? So I recommend we put them back onto Railroad Avenue, and we charge the paid parking, which we can do now, and we'll enforce it only from 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning and get the same result. We don't want it to become an overnight, a 7-day without the paying. But really during the day, as we drive around, Railroad Avenue is underused. So let the people park during the day there. And if they need to go into the city, they can pay longer, but we'll enforce from 11 to 7 and still get the revenue that want to park there, but make better use of that street and those parking spots during the day to help the other businesses that have kind of got pushed out once we changed the rules on Railroad Avenue. Next, Marcos, what do we have? And these are those spots as you're looking going from east to west. It's very underutilized. So I think we could have a happy median here, help our store owners, and still create the parking, that it's not become a long-term parking lot without paying. Marcos, you want to pick up on?
So this is Main Street. Trustee Doyle and Trustee Amidon head up a business committee. And some of the ideas that came out of the business committee were to increase the amount of time you can park on Main Street in Newtown. So what we're going to propose here is that we continue the 1 hour parking for free. But if you want to stay for a second hour, you have the option of paying using the Park Mobile app that we use now in the parking lots. And the same idea would be, next slide. The same idea would be in the parking lot, where right now it's 2 hours for free. We would continue that. And right now we only offer 1 hour extra. We would now offer 2 hours extra if you wanted to stay longer. So it's just, we're taking baby steps with this paid parking, and I think we're now moving towards the next step. And I think it's been very well received. I have not heard any complaints about the paid parking, only that people like it because they can actually spend more time and they're not getting an $85 parking ticket. So I think it's been working very well. It's been working for the village. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but we've certainly made decent revenue. So that's what's on the table.
Okay, just wanted to go into a couple of little updates, what has gone on here. The school resource officers, as those that know and don't know, we put village police officers in both the John Marshall Elementary School and the middle school. And to date, we have 2. One is paid by the village, The other, we're involved in a contract with the East Hampton School District, who pays for the other one. And then during the school year, which is a bonus for us in our busy season, then we pay the salary for that police officer in the summertime when we need them the most. So it's really a win-win situation for both the village and the school district. Moving forward, the school district approached the village. We've had conversations with the mayor and Marcos, myself, Adam Fine, and the school board president, J.P. Foster, wanting to increase the manpower in the building to have coverage all the time. Right now, we reduce it, whether training or regular planned time off. We guarantee them one officer between both buildings. They want to, and it's really, I think it's trend setting. It's that the school district here at East Hampton has been so far above the curve, in my opinion, on school safety for the taxpayers for all three buildings, with implementation of numerous safety devices. They just recently implemented automatic fobs that they wear around their neck should you have an emergency in a school that they can wear. And the school district has really been trendsetters with public safety for their students and staff, and as far as I've seen across this county. So they've approached us and they want to add another officer to guarantee that there are one officer in every building during the school year. And that comes with a cost, and they're willing to pay that. So with the help of the village attorney, Lisa Perillo, we've drafted a memorandum of understanding that the school board adopted last week, I believe, to now they're going to pay for 2 of the officers out of the 3 and the costs associated with those, and then those officers would be deployed to the village for the summertime. So, there's been a lot of conversation. Unfortunately, this happens too often, this active shooter. And I've often thought that the best way to do this, there's been argument about putting teachers with weapons, and the police officers across the country are the best way to deal with this. They're the trained. That's their job. And for the school district to do it this way, is the most efficient and offer the best safe solution for the taxpayers in East Hampton, the children that are there, the staff, the parents, and I think it'll may be much more comforting to the parents that are there that we're offering a full-time police officer if, God forbid, something should happen. But they're also there for others. There's a lot of other activities that happen there that they're there for, dances, they provide security for, parent-teacher conferences, issues with, husband-wife custody issues. We have, an officer in the building to add that another layer of security. So I think it's trend-setting. It's been a pleasure to deal with Adam Fine and the school board president, J.P. Foster, to put this memorandum of understanding together. And moving forward, I think it's going to be a good thing for the community.
Yeah, nice job.
Any questions on the SRO? Next slide. What do we have here? So March 2nd, we were honored at UBS Arena in the Go Islanders. This is an Islander game.
Islanders play there.
Best hockey team in the league. They're coming back too. So they do before every game they have when they're singing the national anthem, they have first responders from across Long Island. And our East Hampton responders petitioned for this and got a slot on March 2nd. And you could see right there to the left is Sergeant Sean Christian. To the right is Officer Armand Gredison. So they were the honor guard, the color guard for the opening of the Islanders game. There was also our fire chief, Rory Knight was there, and also Britt Bistrian from Amagansett Fire Department were holding the flag as the national anthem being sung.
Did you sing it?
No, I did not. I was double booked that night. I had an 80s theme party that I was doing, and it's you can find me online. It was really an honor for them to be there. So it was. I congratulate them for the forethought to do that, and it's nice to have our patch and being announced in front of 17,000 plus people. So
very nice.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
All right. Thank you.
Nice job.
Any questions? Okay.
Well, actually, I have a question.
Go ahead, Sarah.
With the speeding, is, and putting the pole in with the solar panel, are there a lot of statistics that show that it does slow people down? Or is that what you're gathering?
No, it's shown that those signs, when you see them, and just think when you drive, you see your speed, it's a instant, reduction of your speed. You see it, oh, I should drop down. It has shown that they reduce, speeds. So
But the sign itself will collect data from the road, like how many cars, what the average speed is, all of that. So it's going to be great data to collect for us to see if it's working.
And then moving forward, is it working? If not, what's the speed on there? And then the board might have a better educated decision on what the next solution might be if this is
a good start.
But it's a good start instead of going to speed bumps on that road. I think this is a good starting point for us, and then go forward, and hopefully the people on Further and Dunmere, and the golf course get some noticeable relief.
Perfect.
Thank you.
The other thing that's come up in this traffic calming thing, I have a couple of complaints about the electric bikes and bikes themselves, regular bikes, being ridden on the sidewalks. And it's really a big enforcement issue. And I know the chief and I spoke about it, and he's going to increase the enforcement of it, at least in the business core, especially in the summer when we have police on foot and things like that. But we will have to change the law. We looked up the village code, and there's no prohibition about riding bikes or even these electric scooters on sidewalks outside of the business core. So we're going to have to just tighten up the village code a little bit. There is for the electric bikes, but not for the regular bikes. But we want to push everything onto the streets where they belong. The issue with riding through the business core, some of these electric bikes and even the regular bikes, they go at a pretty good speed. And if somebody's walking out of one of the stores and not paying attention, they could have a terrible injury there. So we are on it. I just want to, let the public know, because like I said, I have personally received the complaints about it. So I wanted to make sure that they knew we're dealing with it. So that's all I have on that. But we will be moving forward with some code changes coming up soon about the bikes. Want to get that done before the summer when we have more bikes. So, all right, what's up next here? We're going to go into the public hearings. So again, let's move LaForest up to the top so we can get that, because I know there's people here to talk about LaForest. So it's already been a long meeting, so let's move LaForest up. Could we read it?
Sure. Introductory number 7, 2024, proposed local law amending Chapter 267, the designation of LaForest Lane as a one-way street south.
Okay, we received a lot of correspondence about this. We have letters upon letters. We have people supporting it, people not supporting it. We've had people come to the public hearings. So is there anyone who would like to speak from the audience? David? Just for the, just state your name and address. No, from the mic. It's just, we're doing a new stenography where we need to be nice.
David Gans, East Hampton Village resident. The last meeting, or the last 2 meetings, it was agreed that we'd hire LMK, which was a company, to do a project and analysis of the streets around it. And in the last meeting, there was pro and con discussions. All I'm asking is, let's wait till we get the report and then make a decision. Because what the chief of police shared were arterial roads. LaForest is a residential street. There are different dynamics, and if you decide to make that a one-way, what you have to do is narrow the road, put your canes in, do landscaping very similar to what they did on Floyd. When they converted that to one-way, as you turn the corner, it's very narrow, so it basically sets the stage for driving slower. And also, it's, I think I mentioned this once before, is if you convert a two-way to a one-way without changing the overall function of the road in terms of engineering, you're going to have cars going faster. And cars going faster means pedestrians are less safe. And all I'm asking is, let's wait for the report, look at the analysis, and have this evidence base versus various petitions and notes and the like. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anybody from the board?
Do we know when we're going to get that report or when we're
So,
expecting?
Billy?
The report should definitely incorporate the summer and the winter. So, it would be foolish to do it just this time of year because you wouldn't know anything.
Yeah, so LK McLean has been engaged to do this, conduct the study. They've been in the information gathering stages. They haven't yet deployed, the tubes to collect traffic counts and speeds because they're waiting for better weather. They don't want to do it when there's snow on the ground or when we're in a period of heavy rain, just because people are going to be cautious about driving and they want clean road conditions to collect the data. So they haven't yet deployed the tubes. So, an end date I don't have. I'm not going to render to take a guess, but I don't think we're talking about, many, many months here. So okay, we should have it, soon, but not tomorrow. So
okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Nobody? So I agree. I think we should extend the study through the summer. Okay, and maybe we call it September 30th as an end date. And then we evaluate all the data. And then we come back to this hearing and we talk about whether we want to do the one-way street or not based on the data we have from the company, which will also show us how it's going to affect Jericho, who's been a big opponent of this. So I think that's a good plan. But I think what we should do is install the speed humps on LaForest now, or right before the summer, right before May, as soon as we know we're not going to get any more bad weather. When do the tar plants open, Dave?
They're going to be opening probably the end of this month.
Okay, so maybe we could, if everybody agrees, we can install the speed humps.
I'm against this, just so you know. I don't think we should put speed humps.
No, that's fair. I mean, that's, yeah.
I think the street does not need this. I think it's going to push people on different streets, and that's, I respect everyone's decision, but I'm not in favor of the speed bumps.
No, I respect that.
I'm just curious, so what would the cost of the speed humps would be what?
It's about $18,000.
So, just as an idea, like, why wouldn't we put one of those things that you're putting on Doomer that are a lot less expensive? But I guess, like, why are we investing now before we get the report back?
Well, because personally, I think it's not going to hurt a thing by having the speed humps. It could only slow things down. It's certainly not going to increase any speed. And I don't think it's going to push, I don't think people are going to avoid the road that, and go on another road just to avoid a couple of speed humps. I don't see that happening, as opposed to if it's a one-way street, I could see that argument, but that's my opinion. So I don't see a harm in doing, personally, I think moving forward, maybe we budget for speed humps on roads that we decide we want to put them on. I know you have the other opinion, but I'm not opposed to doing what Sagaponic did. I'm not opposed to picking out roads that are problems that the neighbors are identifying as serious problems and listening to them and putting speed humps on those roads. So that's,
I guess, and just with my common sense, thinking that you would put a speed hump on the busier roads like Doomer, and then put the less expensive, the sign that he was just talking about with the speed on the smaller roads.
the thing about, say, like, take Doomer and further, to put enough speed humps to make an impact, I think you would take a lot of speed humps. LaForest, we can fix that, with 3. And that's going to stop the speeding on that road. The signs may be good and maybe an awareness, but are people, they don't actually slow people down. The intent is we hope that it'll slow them down. The speed humps will definitely slow them down. So I'm not I mean, that's my recommendation, that we give them the relief that they've been asking us for, and we install the 3 speed humps. I checked with Dave, he has it in his budget, so we could install those. We just got to see which ways the board want to go.
My position is waiting for the data. I would like to see the report. I'd like to see, something is an opinion. Yes, they live there, they see it every day.
But remember, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go
It's
ahead.
okay.
Remember, I did it again. Go ahead.
It's okay. I just wanted to say, I just would love to see the data before we do any decision.
The data that we're collecting is about the one-way street, not about putting in the speed humps.
About the speed and about the usage of the road. So we have to know how
Are
many
they going to be
people-
collecting speed data as well? Okay. All right.
I just think that the speed bumps, I do believe, will divert traffic on different ways. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one here, but I don't think LaForest Lane is a problem. I drive down a lot, and I just think the money could be used somewhere else, or at least until we get the report back and then see what it says.
Is it $18,000 per speed bump?
No, for the 3.
I don't know. It just seems like if Sagaponack, if it's working on their main streets to put, the main thoroughways with the speed bumps, why wouldn't we do that for our main?
Well, I mean, we can talk about that. I even said, we could, if we identify roads that we want to put them on, we just budget for them each year, and then we can implement them on different roads. But this, all of these neighbors have come to us asking us for a solution. And I would like to give them some relief for this summer by, implementing something now rather than waiting. I mean, the study's great. We're going to get the information at the end.
But why are we doing the study if we're putting the speed humps in?
We're doing the study about the one-way street to see if they also want a one-way street. And that's what this public hearing is about, is turning LaForest into a one-way street. It's not about speed humps. That's just something I'm throwing out there to try to give relief. But the study is about the one-way street to see what the effects will be, the unintended effects will be by making it a one-way street. So are we pushing, the fear is that we're going to be pushing all of the traffic onto Jericho. So we're just moving a problem from one street to another. That's the fear. So that's why we engaged the study to see if that fear is reality.
I think the difference also, Dunmere and further are straight. The forest has, 2 curves. And I get the idea of waiting for the study, but at the end of the day, it's a safety issue. And why wait if something bad happens? If we can avoid it happening. It has 2 curves, unlike the other places we're talking about. And I was actually happy the other day, I was driving down a weekday on Dunmere, and I saw a police officer who actually was in someone's driveway doing the speed gum. And that, I think, more increased police presence on those roads, it caused me to slow down. Other people were slowing down. If we can put more police presence on those roads with the gun, but I've seen it. They've done an uptick in that. But I just don't want to wait for something bad to happen. It started last year. There was an incident on the forest, and just to wait for a study when something safety issues preventable, for me, it's worth the cost.
Did we put police on the street, and what was their reports? Didn't we, Chief? You guys had police on the street for a while, right, when this came up, and what did you find?
Specifically to LaForest Lane, we did a month. We did from December 15th to January 15th. And we were up there for approximately, all total, 45 hours of manpower time. We did morning day tour shifts and the afternoon shifts. They would split it up so we would get a better cross-section of both times of the day. We only wrote 2 summonses, 35 and 36 miles an hour for that period of time. So that's the data I have. Again, this is the wintertime, but for the cross-section for the 30 days that I supplied the manpower up there, I wrote 2 summonses.
Yeah.
we've been trying to deploy more people. Marcos we've just acquired 2 brand new laser devices. We just received last week that Marcos has approved that I'm going to be deploying out there to our, it's a better way of getting speed instead of it's pinpoint, it's on the vehicle. It's a laser. So we have 2 new that were implemented into the fleet.
Great.
And, we're, as the mayor said, we try, we move around. I think we all understand it's not that my guys aren't doing their job. They're out there trying to do the best they can. Marcos has given us all the equipment I've ever asked for. And it's just this, people speed. It's you're on one street, Trustee Doyle, you see them, and then, they're somewhere else speeding. So I don't think it's going to go away. It's how do we try to help the residents the best we can, because we all live in a community that is, it's small. It's
36 on that road is extremely fast.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's 25 miles an hour. So that's,
and it shouldn't even be that, but that's the lowest we're allowed to go. So, great. Thanks. All right. Is anybody else have any more comments? So let's make a decision. So, Sandra?
So, sorry, we're voting on speed bumps now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're keeping the hearing open for.
Hearing will stay open until we get all the data back. Everybody agrees we should wait for the study
Okay.
before we decide on a one-way street. So we'll get all the data back. So how do you feel about the speed humps?
I don't oppose them completely. Are they gonna be like, can we remove them, or is there gonna be?
We built him.
Pavement.
Okay. Permanent, okay.
They can be removed, but the labor and the cost of the temporary ones is not worth it.
It's about the same cost. Those temporary ones we put in on Highway Beyond the Pond?
Cost per purchase,
That's what I mean, yeah.
but the labor involved is
Right.
far and above.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I don't oppose if we're just protecting our people. The only thing I just see is like, what's gonna happen next? Jericho's gonna have bumps, everybody's gonna have bumps.
we're going to have to make that decision as we go. I mean,
I won't oppose them.
okay. Chris?
I'd like to wait for the study before we did anything on the street.
Okay.
So I'm going to say no at the moment.
All right.
I'll say yes.
I'll say yes, but I also think every street is going to want speed humps because.
And I think we have to
I
deal with
feel
it.
sorry for the people on the forest, but I live on Cooper. People go down 60 miles per hour. So just saying, like, we're opening a big can of worms.
Well, we already did
We already did.
because we installed them on Highway Beyond the Pond.
I know,
as a,
but I'm just saying, like,
as a sample.
here we go.
So,
Here we go. We can't treat other people differently.
But it's
But it's
not
okay.
a bad thing to be safe.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, this is, like, we're going to be putting speed humps everywhere.
Well, first of all, everybody on the street has to sign off of it. And second of
Do
all,
they?
yes, everybody on the
Well,
street has to sign off.
we can make whatever policy we want with it. We could make
Okay.
the
No,
whole street
I'm
because
for it. I'm just saying,
it is going to affect everybody on the street because when you get those landscape trailers going down there, and it's going to be very loud.
Yeah.
So we should figure
I'm
out a
yes.
policy
I'm a yes,
moving
but I think
forward.
we should have
Okay.
a policy after that.
You're going to Hollywood. That's not the way it works. All right. So we're going to move forward then with Dave. We're going to move forward with 3 speed humps on. Yeah.
Have a memo, if you want to do that as well, Tom?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Very end.
All right. Can you read that, Lorraine?
Approve $18,000 quote for 3 speed humps for LaForest Lane
That's emotions.
per Dave Collins memo 26/2024.
Can we get I'll make the motion. Okay. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? One. Okay. All right, so we got speed humps on the forest.
I'll call that resolution number 271.
Okay, great.
2024.
Thanks for having that, Dave. That was convenient. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Introductory number 2.
Introductory number 2 of 2024, proposed local law amending Chapter 77 beaches, Article 1, beach regulations, Section 77.4, prohibited conduct, 77.5, vehicles on the beach, 77.6, operating a vehicle while under the influence, 77.12, temporary closure, and 77.14, locker permits.
Great. So let me just start, just to clarify a little bit, 77.4, prohibited conduct. Do we have that, what that was? I believe that was the camping, or...
Yeah, it was the campaign.
Sorry, Lorraine.
Okay.
I just want to make sure everybody knows what we're changing. I'll go on.
It's a long one.
Yeah, I'll go on 77.5. I know what that one was. That is a loophole in the law that allows vehicles to drive on Two Mile Hollow Beach anytime east of, on the east side of the beach. So we're tightening that up so it complies with the rest of the beaches. Operating a vehicle under the influence, that's a maintenance issue, basically. The state law changed, lowering the alcohol level that people could be prosecuted on, and our code didn't. So we've lowered it down to match the state law. The temporary closure, since the trustees own the beach, anytime the village wants to close the beach, we have to get permission from the trustees. What we're doing is adding a section here that allows the police chief to close the beach anytime he deems it necessary for an emergency situation, and then we'll notify the trustees immediately. The next one, locker permits. All right, can we go back to 77.4?
77.4 does concern camping on the beach.
Yeah. Well, I think it's public parks or something.
So
right?
no
It says.
person shall camp in the parks or on other public property in the village or of East Hampton. Specific exemptions may be granted,
Yeah.
et cetera. That's being removed. And then no person shall camp on private property without written permission from the owner. Basically, these were removed because they don't have a place in the
In this
beach
section.
code.
Correct. So that's why they're being removed. They should be in another section of village code, not the beach section. And it
So we
sounds
can't-
silly,
we
but
can't camp on the beach, or we can?
no, you can. There's already a prohibition about it. But anything in 77 has to be approved by the town trustees for us to enforce. So they already have a no camping on the beach section. And somehow when we were trying to stop, I guess, camping in our public parks, somehow it got thrown into this section, which the trustees don't have to approve. If the town trustees don't have to approve, if it's like Herrick Park or something like that. So, all right. And then the last one, Lisa, the locker permits, 7714.
That's a revision to the definition of resident, any individual who it adds the East Hampton Village Department of Emergency Medical Service or
Oh,
an
yeah.
ambulance association member who was exempt as of April 30th, 2023.
Yeah, so we had to, originally when we had the association, it only made reference to the association exempt members. So we've left them, they still get the same. But now we have an EMS department, and when people go exempt from that department, they were not recognized in this section, so they weren't entitled to a beach permit. So now they are. All right. I'm sorry, does anybody want to be heard on this? Public comments? No? Anybody on the board?
I make a motion to close.
All right.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that hearing is closed. Next,
Introductory number 4 of 2024, proposed local law amending Chapter 278 zoning, Section 278.1 definitions, nonconforming buildings, 278.3 accessory building and structure design requirements and wetland setbacks, and 278.3A wetland setbacks.
okay. And this was just kept open from the last hearing, right? Yeah, so,
Because we changed the garage.
Billy.
Yes.
wants to say something.
oh yeah, Bill?
Yeah,
Thanks.
Billy had a definition change in wetlands.
Yeah, this is all Billy's section.
Yeah, all of the changes are wrapped into one proposed local law, but there were comments made offered at the last hearing requesting changes, I've been trying to work on addressing those comments, and I haven't quite refined it yet.
Okay.
So if we could, I would ask that you keep this hearing open.
Yeah, that's fine.
Until we
Yeah,
refine it.
so we'll keep this open for another month. Does anybody have any other comments before we move on? No? Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. This guy needs to work more. There you go. Just kidding, Bill.
Okay, introductory number 8, 2024, a proposed local law amending Chapter 219, Police, Article 2, Constables, Section 219-16, Waiver of Qualification Requirements.
Yeah, this has been something we've been trying to create for about a year and a half now. The state finally approved this. In the CPL, New York State CPL, it allows villages and towns to hire peace officers known as constables. And basically, they are part-time police officers that we can put to work on our streets, which will give us much more teeth, because they can enforce the law, just like a police officer can, as opposed to like a TCO. So we used to do this with part-time police officers. We'd send young people to the police academy on their own time. We would give them transportation, we'd pay for the uniforms, and then when they graduated, we'd employ them part-time in the summers. And they worked out great, and then eventually they would take a police test, and then they would be hired. But they had all the authority as a regular police officer, but they were seasonal. That is dwindling, just like volunteers are dwindling. So we had to come up with another plan. So what this does allows us to hire retired cops, retired police officers. And there's a whole bunch of them, and we can put them to work under this section of law. So it's good. There's other villages that do it, but we had to jump through a lot of hoops with civil service, with the state. Lisa's rewritten this law about 5 times, so we're finally there. Does anybody from the public want to comment? Board?
I make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that hearing's closed. Last one, right?
Introductory number 9, 2024, proposed local law amending Chapter 231, authorizing skip-the-stuff enforcement for single-use plastics, restrictions providing eating utensils, condiment packets, napkins, and extra eating containers.
This initiative was started by, I think, Trustee Amadon and Trustee Minardi, right? You guys worked on this, and this is now becoming a law where we're going to educate our restaurants and fast food places, that we don't have any of those, but retail food establishments, and educate them not to give away single-use plastics unless the customer asks for them. So that'll be the first phase of this. And I believe the Surfrider Foundation was instrumental in bringing this about. So,
and they're going to continue to help educate and get the word out there too.
That's great.
So they've been very helpful.
I find myself doing it now. I go in now, like, since we've been educated, I find myself doing it now. And they'll say, hey, you want a spoon? Or if I'm like, no, I'm going home with it. So
Right.
yeah, it's really working well. There's something about the plastic water bottles, though. Like, I still find myself buying those. To do something about that. So,
Some of these there, Jerry.
don't print that, okay? Mayor.
That's the headline.
Water bottles.
Yeah. That'll be the only thing we get out of this whole meeting. That's what the Star will print. So, all right. Or there'll be an editorial about it.
I can help.
All right. Anybody from the board?
No.
All right.
I make a motion to close.
Oh, this public comment.
Public comment?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, David.
I think it's a wonderful law.
That's 2 in a row, David.
There'll be 3.
There's more.
There'll be more. I think it's a tremendous act. I just want to ask you, how are we going to address someplace like the Beach Hut, where outside they have all the condiments there, or Chinese restaurants where it's all takeout and all the condiments and plastic forks are just laying there? How is that
I
addressed?
think we're going to have to educate them. We're going to have to send somebody in, and we're going to have to explain to them, and they'll have to keep it behind the counter. And then if somebody have a sign that says, if you need utensils, ask.
So in other words, every place where there's public access to it. It's going to be moved in. And there'll be a sign, ask behind the counter. Correct?
Will you volunteer to help us with that?
No.
I think
I
that,
don't go to Main Beach much.
I think that probably at the beach, and I think they do this at the Golden Pear and other places, that you have to make an active effort to take the utensil. It's not given to you. It's not thrown in the bag. It's not immediate garbage. So if you do need a fork or a spoon, you can take it, you can ask for it, and then you'll get it. So it's the same at the beach. At the beach, they don't give you anything. If you need one, you take one, and it's there for you. And that's not the spirit of the Skip This Stuff initiative, was to eliminate the stuff being thrown in your bag without you asking
So I
for it.
misspoke. We're not going to do that. What he's saying is accurate.
The beach, for takeout, but I know that since the beach is on the village, it's part of the village's purview, they will be in the setting the example for the village. Shall we
Right,
say.
and I think that's important.
Yes, it is very important, and we have already talked to the Beach Hut, and they're very happy to try to save our environment.
Terrific. Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Anyone else?
I make a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, hearing's closed. Thank you. Oh, we have another discussion. Marcos, you want to talk about it?
Well, there's been, we first implemented, I believe, what was the monthly beach passes in 2022? Sorry, driving the ship here. I guess everybody can see that, right?
Yeah.
Last year, we switched to half-season passes. I think we were trying to make things better, but I think from what we saw, that people just, whether they think about it, a little easier, I guess, or the real estate rentals or whatever it is, I really don't know. But I can tell you that the monthly's just worked out a whole lot better than the half-season. So what we're proposing is to go back to the monthly permits. It was just a little bit more convenient for people that were, spending the summer here. The month of July or August, they could just kind of choose and not create that rush that we see every now January in person or, on February 1st online. So there was kind of some discussions internally whether what we would price June. So technically our season is from May 15th to September 15th. And the June pass would capture anybody from May 15th to June 30th. And then the August pass would be August 1st to September 15th. So I think I'm just kind of leaving that out there for everybody here on the board to see. That's what we had it at before, $300 a permit. We didn't do, whether it was half season or the original monthly permits didn't cross over 1,500 passes in total. So 500 each month, that would remain the same. And it's really up to the board as to how they want to price it out. And we can certainly do that by resolution, at the next board meeting.
If I can jump in just to make sure everyone is up to familiar with the beach monthly passes, that we did sell out July and August, did not sell out June. I don't know exactly what the June numbers were 2 years ago, but let's just call it half. Right? Is that accurate?
That's correct.
Yeah, I think that is accurate.
So, Marcos and I asked Marcos that maybe we, discount June a little bit. I don't know what anyone's thoughts are. It does not sell out. It does incorporate a little bit of Memorial Day. And, so this is what we did 2 years ago, and it worked great. Again, I think it relieves some of the pressure from someone buying a full season when they're taking it away from someone that might need it more. If you're only renting for 1 month or half a summer, it also gives people that rent, and they don't really rent their house until later. They miss the deadline for the beach permits and they're sold out already. So I think this accomplishes a couple different things. However, if we are going to go back to 3 of them instead of 2 of them, did we want to change the price? And if we did want to change the price, what everyone's thoughts were.
I think it makes sense to have June be cheaper. If we've never sold out and the weather's always iffy.
It's freezing in June.
So why not? Yeah. finish.
Beautiful in June.
Not good for sales.
Sorry. It's beautiful in June. Yeah.
You guys got a secret.
I agree with you too, Carrie. What's everyone's thoughts on what?
Well, you know where I'm going to come from.
Where?
I'm going to come from, you need to raise the prices for July and August and leave June the way it is. Don't lower
Does
June.
this increase the amount of people that come to the beach, or is it the same amount of,
For the 3 years we've been doing it, it's the same.
the same?
Yeah.
We've sold
This
out
will be
of-
our third year doing this.
Oh,
But do you see a difference? I mean, you're at the beach mostly, Chris, so do you see?
I don't. I can't tell you exactly the difference. I do know that June is slower, and we don't sell out. But overall, they always have sold out, so there really hasn't been much of a noticeable difference because they sell out. Everything sells out.
Why don't we do July 350 and August 350 and leave June at 3?
I would agree to that. If there's more demand, people like just increase the price on the other ones.
How do you feel?
When you want to try and sell out June?
Well, it's cheaper.
It's like,
What, we're going to drop it $50 and then
maybe.
you're either buying one or you're not buying it. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't think, unless you're going to go spend it daily.
I think the difference is competing with the daily pass of a $50 pass. So, you figure if there's Memorial Day weekend, you might want to go to the beach 3 times. And then all of the other weekends, to get to 300 is not that hard. However, we don't sell out.
I agree with Carrie. If you're trying to sell out, I would lower the price for June. Just incentivize more people to buy it.
So then, then my thought would be is if you're trying to sell out and accomplish more revenue, you can increase the cost and reduce the amount of people at the beach. If that means anything to you. I mean, in June, I don't think it matters. So for me,
It's staff. June is staffed starting when?
June, the beaches are fully staffed in June.
All every day during the week?
Drew?
Morning, everybody. Drew Smith, beach manager. The beach is staffed during the week with beach staff. They are lifeguard certified. The lifeguards are weekends starting May, I believe, 18th this year, right after May 15th. Seasonal stuff goes into play. And then we fully staff the beach 7 days a week with lifeguards June 18th.
Thank you.
I mean, overall, yes. I mean, there's definitely, as you, I'm sure, remember, there's plenty of lifeguards readily available every day in June at the beach. They might not be fully staffed with 4 stands across Main Beach, but there's plenty of staff.
Starting June 18th.
Even in all of June. I mean, they're there. Drew's at the beach every day. So is half the other, there's workers. They're all lifeguard certified people there. I mean, it might not be fully staffed, but it's staffed. No one's going to drown.
All right. Are we going to make a decision?
I would go up.
Somebody say something.
I say give people a discount in June.
What kind of discount you want to do?
I would say, I mean, if we're just like lower it to 250.
Yeah.
Toss them a bone.
Yeah, I would say.
You good?
That's fine.
You good?
Fine.
And what are we doing with July and August? Leaving it at 300?
No.
Yes?
350.
What?
I would say 350. If we're selling out, why are we leaving it at the same price?
Right. I like the way she thinks. 350? Do I hear 4?
I mean, we keep going up.
No.
every year.
I say my personal opinion, leave it at 300 and lower the June to 250.
Sold. All right.
All right, so let's keep them at 300. We'll lower June to 250, and then we'll see.
Where am I going?
We'll see what happens for next year.
All right. That's a good plan.
Oh, and wait, these will be available March 1st online?
No, May 1st.
May 1st.
May 1st online.
Just so anyone watching on May 1st, they can go to Village website and purchase these monthly beach passes.
Correct. They're online only.
We have to change the law before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Online only, by the way. And
All right. So
plates go into the readers.
So we decided June, 250, and the other 2 months, 300. Okay, great. All right, that concludes that. Public comment. Anybody have anything to say? Third time?
He had 3.
You warned us.
You've been good so far. I'm really happy.
Thank you. First, I want to comment that something that Trustee Doyle mentioned. You mentioned one of the reasons why you wanted to convert La Forest to one-way because there were accidents on that street. There were no accidents.
There was a close call last week.
Well,
No, I
the
didn't.
word accident came out. If you
Oh, it was
look at the-
definitely an accident. I was there.
Right, it was 2 kids on a bicycle.
That crashed and fell.
Right.
Yeah.
So there weren't, cars were not involved. So. and
Speed
also-
was. I can tell you that.
Pardon?
Speed was.
Well,
But also the
Yeah.
curves of the road, and when I was
well,
making the
you
point.
can always set up signs, curve ahead, caution.
Flashing lights.
Right. Yeah, no, you don't, I don't think you need flashing lights.
I'm just
Like,
kidding.
There's a lot of places around curve ahead. At least people are aware there's going to be a curve ahead. Or,
I think
you know,
they are, there's where there's curve ahead.
or perhaps, a lot of times there's a sign with a child's on the street.
Right.
So you're giving everyone fair warning rather than putting, changing it one way before we have all the evidence. And Trustee Eminent, I think we're all a little confused what the purpose of a hump is versus what a sign that lights up. Humps work. They do lower their overall speed. All the other signs is like kind of a warning. You're going fast. And those are more for arterial roads, while the humps are more for residential roads. Just want.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
And in terms of the beach stickers, I have to stick my nose in. Have you considered combining June and July for 500? And August for 300, but you can still buy June and July separately.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
We had it seasonal. That would have been one of the seasons, right?
Yeah. We did that last year. We did the 2 halves.
Yeah. I mean,
We combined May all the way through July. And then we did August 1st through. So we had
But
2 halves.
Isn't the overall goal? How do we make more money from it at the end of the day?
Right. Well, this is our bread and butter.
Right.
So
And the
that's
question
why
is,
people come here.
You obviously want to incentivize people to buy it at the a maximum cost per day, however we want to do it. But I just want to keep that in mind. And the last point in terms of, I agree, the bike and the e-bikes are getting out of control. They're out of control everywhere in the country.
Yeah.
But what a lot of cities are doing, they're setting up protected bike lanes.
Yeah.
And we don't have many out here.
We don't.
And the thing is that, I mean, we can't tell them you can't be on the sidewalk. If they go on the street, and they get hit by a car, and you have a nice lawsuit on your hands because
Well,
they can't ride on bicycles.
That's where they belong.
Right.
On the
Well,
road. Yeah.
But they should have, like I believe Springs Fireplace Road has a bike lane,
Right.
not protected, but it's a bike lane.
Right.
And perhaps more of the roads we should consider putting a bike lane just on a line.
Barely fit cars on those roads,
Right.
So,
But you can also fit a bicycle.
yeah.
That's all.
Thank you.
Public comments.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? All right. So let's get into these 10 pages of resolutions.
Resolution number 224 of 2024, approve claim vouchers for the month of February.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 225, approve warrants as listed. Number 39, guarantees. 41, general fund. 42, general fund. Number 43, general fund warrant.
Motion approved.
So moved.
All in favor?
Second.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 226, approve budget transfer schedule number 5, reference number 5, dated March 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 227, approve departmental reports.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 228, approve public notice concerning unpaid taxes for the year 2023-2024 to be published in the East Hampton Star.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 229, concerning erroneous real estate taxes paid and refund in the amount of $10,878.48 due to 16 Pudding Hill Lane Trust to Representatives Matthews, Kurst, Cooley, and Gorin, PLLC, regarding Suffolk County Tax Map 301-8-13-12.1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number Number 230, approve the return of the Domini Rock to the Obron Farber family.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 231, approve 2024 10-year agreement between the East Hampton Union Free School District and the Village of East Hampton for the placement of 3 village police officers as school resource officers within the school district to be reviewed on an annual basis.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 232, adopt a negative secret declaration regarding Main Beach sanitary system upgrade.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 233, approve $5,931 quote from Advantage Sport and Fitness for gym equipment for One Cedar Street.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 234, approve $42,535.80 quote for the purchase of 5 mobile radios and 1 charger from Motorola Solutions for the Emergency Services Unit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 235, approve $3,000 quote for the Franzone Fire Training Center project for a new training prop.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 236, approve $486,250.41 quote for paving improvements by Rosemar Contracting for the following roads this spring, per agreement with Suffolk County Water Authority, Hither Lane, David's Lane, and Cross Highway.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 237, approve $38,813.85 proposal by South Fork Asphalt for permanent pavement patches at various locations and a 1.5-inch overlay near 8 Pondview Lane.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 238, approve agreement with James Olivio for financial consultant services at an hourly rate of $125 with a maximum of $15,000 per year.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 239, approve $29,000 quote from Landscape Details for lawn maintenance at Home Sweet Home Museum.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 240, approve change order number 4 for fence repairs from Land Tech in the amount of $1,145.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 241, approve extension of Buckley's Flower Farm current contract for 1 year with no change to contract terms for seasonal hanging flower basket plants, supply, and planting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 242, deem surplus 1 Global Concord executive chair broken and beyond repair and of no value.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 243 of 2024, approve employment of 2024 preseason beach staff Jason Bruner, Justin Zorbo, Glenn Beatty, and Edward Budd at $20 an hour, and Diane O'Donnell at $30 hourly, effective April 1st, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 244, approve enrollment for 2 police officers to attend the 38th Annual Police Security Expo 2024 to be held on June 24th through the 27th at the Atlantic City, New Jersey Convention Center at a cost of approximately $991.26, plus the cost of reasonable meals and travel expenses.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 245, approve employment of Christopher Pitts as a part-time traffic control specialist for recall assignments effective March 16th, 2024 at an hourly rate of $18.
So moved. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 246, approve the employment of Nicholas Laval as a part-time police officer at the rate of $30 an hour, effective April 1st upon his graduation from the Suffolk County Police Academy on March 21st, 2024.
So moved.
So moved.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 247, approve new fire department members Christian Landano, hose company number 3, John Grish, Stephen Long, and Eugene DePasquale, and Jordan Reynos, fire police company number 6.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 248, approve appointment of Gerard Terza, Fire and EMS Administrator, as a member of the Town of East Hampton Public Safety Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 249, approve the Department of Emergency Medical Service Rules and Regulations dated March 15th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 250, approve appointment of Wesley Robinson to the Planning Board for a 5-year term, March 15th through March 15th, 2024 through March 15th of 2029, term to expire in 2029.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 251, approve reappointment of Philip O'Connell as the village representative to the East Hampton Town CPF Advisory Committee for a 7-year term.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 252, notice to bidders for 2-year Dutch elm disease treatment program with the bid opening to be held April 2nd, 2024 at 2 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 253, notice to bidders for the lease of Sea Spray Cottage number 1 with the bid specs available on March 15th and the bid opening to be held April 2nd, 2024, 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
So wait, Marcos, 14 rented and 1 is the one left?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that crazy?
So 1 is still left.
Yes.
All right.
Resolution number 254 of 2024, notice for public hearing to be held on April 19th at 11 a.m. at LTV Studios, 75 Industrial Road, Waynescott, for introductory number 10, 2024, a proposed local law amending section 278-7, Board of Appeals, variances, special permits, fees.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 255, notice for public hearing to be held April 19th, 2024, 11 a.m. at LTV Studios, 75 Industrial Road, Waynescott, for introductory number 11 of 2024, a proposed local law amending Chapter 256, partial exemption for members of voluntary fire department and voluntary ambulance service, Section 256-7, exemption granted, amount and eligibility, Section 256-8, life extension of exemption, Section 256-9, application for exemption, and adding 256-9 in effective date.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Passed and carried.
Buying a lot of these.
Number 256, notice for public hearing to be held on April 19th, 2024, at 11 a.m. at LTV Studios, Waynescott, for introductory number 12, 2024, a proposed local law amending Chapter 267-5, C4, beach permit parking permits. Monthly parking permits shall be issued rather than half-season parking permits.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Scheduled.
Number 257, notice for public hearing to be held on April 19th, 2024, at 11 a.m. at LTV Studios, Waynescott, for introductory number 13, 2024, a proposed local law amending Chapter 176, Historic Areas, Preservation of.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 258, adopt local law of 2024, introductory number 1 of 2024, proposed local law amending Chapter 18, Code of Ethics, Section 18-2, definitions, municipal officer or employee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 259, adopt local law, introductory number 2, 2024, proposed local law amending Chapter 77, Beaches, Article 1, Beach Regulations, Section 77-4, Prohibited Conduct, Section 77-5, Vehicles on the Beach, Section 77-6, Operating a Vehicle while under the influence, Section 77-12, Temporary Closure, and Section 77-14, Locker Permits.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 260, adopt local law of 2024, introductory number 3, a proposed local law amending Chapter 267, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 1, General Regulations, Section 267-5, Beach Parking, Section 267-7, Parking Time Limited in Designated Locations.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 262, adopt local law 2024, introductory number 5, a proposed local law amending Chapter 163, freshwater wetlands.
We're holding that open, right? Yeah, so we're not going to act on that.
We're not gonna. Oh,
What's
you
that?
want to mention it, it's keeping it, okay. All right. Should I say that? It's okay, don't.
What about the one right before it that we just
Just make it
approved?
out, that's keeping that one open.
No.
That was
Keeping
okay?
that open.
Keeping that.
We're keeping 261 open.
262.
Yeah, resolution number 261 will be kept, that hearing's being kept open.
So strike that.
Number 4.
262.
Gabby,
Okay.
we got to reverse that.
It's open.
261 stays open.
Resolution number
262 stays open.
Yeah.
Freshwater wetlands is staying open.
And so is the one before it.
260.
Okay.
261.
260 is closed, correct?
Right.
That's the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, 260 is closed, 261 is open, 262 is open. 263,
That one stays open.
exterior maintenance. Billy, is
I
that,
didn't think so.
close that?
Yeah, that's no change.
All right, so let's move on, we'll go start with 263. Lorraine.
Second.
Resolution 263 of 2024, adopt local law, introductory number 6, 2024, a proposed local law amending Chapter 225, property maintenance and nuisance abatement, Section 225-2, exterior maintenance.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 264, adopt local law, introductory number 8, 2024, a proposed local law amending Chapter 219, police, Article 2, constables, Section 219-16, waiver of qualification requirements.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 265, approve Tracy Hillman's dismissal from the Volunteer Department of Emergency Medical Service EMS effective February 13th, 2024.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 266, accept Matthew O'Connor's resignation as a Public Safety Dispatcher 1 effective April 30th, 2024.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 267, approve designation of polling place, hours, and providing for election inspectors for June 18th, 2024 election.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 268, approve $14,686.72 quote from CDWG for video cameras and other equipment, including material and labor for the public meeting room at 1 Cedar Street.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 269, approve 2023 list of Department of Emergency Medical Services, EMS volunteers who have met requirements and qualified for 1 year of service award credit.
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 270, approve 2023 list of East Hampton Fire Department volunteers who have met requirements and qualified for 1 year of service award credit.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Mayor, sorry, it was 271 would then be the speed humps that you approved earlier?
Yeah, 271 would be the speed humps.
If I could ask the board to approve the donation of the 913 pumper to Eminence.
Oh. Yeah, do we want to,
Yes, I make a motion to approve that.
Second.
So moved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. Thank you, Jerry and Dave and other Dave. So I'm going to look for a motion here to close this meeting and go to executive session.
Make
back
a
at
motion.
Village Hall.
Close the hearing.
So moved.
All in favor? Passed and carried. Thanks, everybody. Sorry for the long meeting. A lot of
Thank
important
you,
things we got to
guys.
say, though.